join us as we leave Montresor in the Loire Valley and head to our next stop, which is Loches.
Look at the weather.
Yeah, I know, the weather looks a bit rubbish. Tomorrow looks fantastic, but today looks a little bit on the grim side.
As if all I have is you, and I'll be just fine.
That's the Pyramid of Chartreuse, 18th century apparently.
Yeah, I'll be just fine.
Pretty posh, that,
Keep right on Route left.
Going into Loches, we took the 3.5 ton limit route, which was a little bit tight in places, but on the way out we took the ring road, which avoided all the dodgy bits.
Not spending with you. Let's go somewhere far away. 'Cause if all
And here we are, Camping Le Citidelle. It's an axie site. It's
we're just fine.
This is a really nice site with good sized pitches, nice toilets and showers, a bar stroke restaurant and 2 swimming pools. Well, I want that one. Electric is via the usual 3-pin Euro plug, but we did have to use the reverse polarity adapter. We quickly set up the pitch and then we walked the very short walk back into Loches, as it was Wednesday, which is market day at Loches. And as markets go, it was a good one, well worth a visit.
We could stop off for a wine.
So what did you think of that narrow road restaurant? A bit stressful.
Get hold of me breath, but
Back at the campsite, Sue got some washing done, which she was really pleased with. And the evening meal with roasted chicken breast, ratatouille and a few chips. Followed by a couple of games of skip bow. The next day we were off to visit the City Royale, the Donjon, the Church of St. Hara and the Royal Lodge. It's a really nice walk. Walk along the River Indre, through a public park and up through the old town. This is Port Royal. At one time this was the sole access to the royal city. The donjon was built by Fulk Nera at the beginning of the 11th century, with later additions by Henry II and Richard the Lionheart.
Brilliant.
It's a big fortress, lots to see, lots to explore and a lot of steps. This is the main tower.
you go up, I'll wait here.
It's a bit tight. And 190 steps later, you get some lovely views of the town and the surrounding countryside. This is the City Royale's collegiate church of St. Our, built in the 11th century. It's most famous for housing the tomb of Agnes Sorel, Charles VII's favourite mistress. Next it was the Royal Lodge. The lodge was built at the end of the 14th century. Charles VII stayed here regularly with his favourite mistress Agnes Sorel. And Joan of Arc met the king here after her victory over the English at Orleans in 1429. And along with the fortress is well worth a visit. Back on site, we tried out the campsite restaurant. I had the pizza and Sue had the fish and chips. The meals came to €13.80 plus the drinks. Cheers, mother.
Cheers.
Lovely day.
Lovely, lovely day. Lovely evening, isn't it?
Oh. Where's the get there? The following day, we were walking to Beaulieu-les-Loches to see the abbey founded in the early 11th century by Fouquenard, the Count of Anjou, and considered to have been the first of the Plantagenets. The entrance was just round the corner. Sue found it. The abbey was founded in 1007, with the bell tower added in the 12th century. Fouquenard died in 1040 and is buried in the southern wing of the transept. The recently restored Romanesque tower is one of the highest in France, at 68 metres. Back at Loches, we bought a couple of very nice pastries and a very popular boulangerie, La Parisienne, before finding a restaurant still serving drinks before lunch. Then it was back to the campsite for a swim. The next day we were leaving Loches, and after dropping off the grey waste, we called in at a Lidl. Unfortunately, Lidl's don't do fresh milk. So shopping in Lidl's is definitely
cheaper.
It's definitely cheaper than Super U.
But we're still good into the Super.
But we gotta get some fresh milk, so.
Hopefully.
With the milk sorted, we were heading to our next stop, which was to be Amboise.
Take the second exit to D431.
Smell of spring outside. Open your road, you sit in the
This was one of those give way to the right junctions, I think, which I'm not that keen on.
as if all I have is you, and I'll be just fine. Yeah, I'll be just fine. Heading for
In 400 meters, turn right onto Camppi Loches.
they face. Days are full, and I spend them with you. Let's go
Turn left onto
We had a choice here of the municipal campsite or the adjacent camping car park. We chose the campsite, bigger pitches, toilets and showers, and 10 amps of electric. The campsite has 281 pitches and is just a very short walk into the historic centre of Amboise.
Straight down.
Straight down, past the showers, but
94 girl.
this one here.
Yeah.
Good, isn't it? Drinks were at the Shaker, a bar-straight restaurant, and we had a front row seat with a lovely view across the Loire at the Château Royal. It was a fabulous evening, and one day I might be tempted to try one of those.
Got a few people in there.
And the meal that night was another one from Carluccio's 100 pasta meals. The next day was Sunday, Amboise's market day. This is a huge market with 2 aisles with stalls both sides stretching for at least a quarter of a mile. Definitely one of the best markets we'd ever been to. But did we buy anything? Yes, we did. Sue bought 2 pairs of trousers and I bought 2 jars of honey.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup. Bonne journée. Au revoir.
So what's our specialty?
We took the stuff back to Campi and then we headed to the Château Royal. Originally a medieval fortress built to protect one of the very few bridges crossing the Loire. The chateau was confiscated by the crown in 1434, and Charles VIII, who became king in 1470, turned the fortress into a luxury palace. It was following the Italian War of 1494-1495 that Charles brought Italian architects and artisans to France to work on the chateau and turned it into the first Italianate palace in France. Charles died unexpectedly in 1498, with the works unfinished. In 1515, Francis I became king and continued the renovations at Château d'Amboise. In 1516, Leonardo da Vinci moved to Amboise, living at the nearby Château of Clos-Lucé. He died in 1519 and is buried, as per his wishes, at the Château Royal in the chapel of Saint Hubert. It was under Francis I that the chateau reached its cultural peak, and during the French Revolution much of the chateau was dismantled, and only about a quarter of the chateau survived. So with the entrance fee at $16.50 per person, was it worth it? Yes, we think so. We had lunch at a restaurant called La Florentine, where Sue had a pizzeria, I had the salmon linguine, and with a pichet of wine, the bill was €46.30. There is always a riverside bar, and we had spotted Shay, Oscar and Suzette while we were at the market. The following day, we are off to visit the Château Clos de Luce, Leonardo da Vinci's home for the final 3 years of his life. He died at the chateau in 1519. He had been invited by Francis I, who gave him the use of the chateau and a very generous pension, to be the premier painter, engineer and architect to the king. The chateau today is a museum dedicated to Leonardo's life and work. Sue's laughing here as we have a party of school kids in front of us and another behind.
Qui regroupe toutes vos connaissances. C'est un esprit hors du commun. Mais ne devriez-vous pas les faire?
In this room, there are models of 40 machines 5 centuries ahead of their time, made by IBM from original Leonardo da Vinci drawings, including the machine gun and the bicycle. The gardens again showcase Leonardo's designs and ideas with full-scale models. It's all very well laid out and a fascinating experience. And on the walk back from the chateau, we bumped into a couple of subscribers, Kaz and Cole. It was great to meet you. We really enjoyed our stay at Amboise, but it was time to move on, and our next stop was going to be Chinon, the chateau there being the main residence of Henry II, and from there controlled his empire, which stretched from the Scottish border in the north to the Pyrenees in the south. We're on the D37 and we're headed for Chinon, and we should be there in about 40 minutes.
Let's go somewhere far away, as if all I have is you, and I'll be just fine.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
Just fine.
This is Camping Chinon. We paid $33.76 for 2 nights, which included electric. The toilet and showers are a little old-fashioned but usable. There's a camping car park just along the road, but we again prefer the campsite, but it's bigger pitches and it's closer to the town.
Days are full, not spend them with you. Let's go somewhere far away.
That one there. It's a standard 3-pin, and the polarity is the right way. We were off to find some lunch, and we found an Italian place called Les Saveurs d'Italie on the Place de General de Gaulle. The plat du jour was asparagus ravioli with olive oil, parmesan and mortadella, and with a couple of glasses of wine and tiramisu, the bill came to $57.20. After that excellent lunch, we were off to explore the town. Chinon is a really attractive place. We liked it. It was gearing up for the Tour de France. Stage 9 was going to start from here, and there were references to it everywhere. So after winning stage 9, Sue thought she deserved a drink. So we ended up at the CBR bar, not far from the campsite entrance. It's pretty gloomy here at the moment. Pouring rain. No wind. Well, it's really chucking it down now. What do you think this morning then?
Well, it's not bad. Being that it's been raining, but it's not cold. I think the rain's going to go over.
You do?
The sun will come out,
Yeah.
and we're going to go up to the castle.
Fingers crossed.
Château.
The chateau, yeah.
Château.
The Chateau de Chinon is about a 20-minute walk from the campsite. And if you go and you don't fancy the hike up the steps, there's a lift straight from the car park off of the main square. Oh! Château de Chinon, a fortress of the Plantagenet dynasty, with over 1,000 years of history. This was Henry II's main residence in France, and from here he ran his empire, which stretched from the Scottish border in the north to the Pyrenees in the south. His son Richard the Lionheart became king after Henry died at the chateau in 1189. In 1308, the castle was a prison for the last Grand Master of the Knights Templar, Jacques de Molay, before he was burnt at the stake in Paris, 1318. And in 1429, Joan of Arc met here with Charles VII and persuaded him to give her an army to liberate Orleans from the English, culminating in Charles VII's coronation in Reims. Much of the structure is partially restored ruins, and you can see interactive exhibits, restored royal apartments, towers, and an area dedicated to Joan of Arc's historic visit. Included in the entry price is the use of a histopad, which explains everything in English. The clock tower, 75 steps to the top, where you will get fabulous views over the town of Chinon and the surrounding countryside. After a really interesting tour of the chateau, we were looking for somewhere to have a drink. So, our next stop was the Guinette de Chinon. There's always a riverside bar. Our last drink in Chinon.
In Chinon.
Till the next time.
Till the next time. Yeah, I wouldn't mind coming back.
It's a nice campsite. I like it. In the next video we visit Saumur, Hervault, Parthenay, Vouet, Hermansville and Lyon-sur-Mer. As always, thanks for watching, it really is appreciated. If you've enjoyed the video, please give us a like, it really does help the channel. Thanks.